Today, India celebrates a year since it successfully hosted the G20 summit in New Delhi. The 2023 G20 summit in New Delhi marked a historic moment for global diplomacy. With Russia and China's leaders absent, India's presidency still managed to leave a lasting legacy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership helped shift the focus of the G20 from the traditional powerhouses to the global south. A year on, India celebrates the transformative outcomes of this summit, which set new directions in global cooperation from Africa to the Middle East and beyond. Despite challenges like the Ukraine war, India's diplomatic finesse ensured that the summit was a grand success. So let's look back at the defining moments from India's G20 presidency. Number 1, India's G20 theme, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Under Modi's leadership, India introduced the theme of One Earth, One Family, One Future, a reflection of the Hindu civilizational philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This idea called for global unity, mutual growth, and shared responsibilities transcending borders. By pushing this theme, India positioned itself as a voice advocating for inclusivity and sustainable development. Number 2, People's Presidency. 220 meetings in 60 cities. Unlike previous summits, India's G20 presidency was more than just a gathering of world leaders. India actually brought the event to the people. With 220 meetings across 60 cities, citizens from every corner of the country, from Kashmir to Kerala, became part of this grand diplomatic endeavor. India's G20 meetings weren't just a high-flying leaders' affair. They became an event that touched the grassroots, making it a people's presidency in the truest sense. Number 3, the summit and the world leaders arrive. As world leaders like US President Joe Biden and UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak arrived in New Delhi, the stage was set for monumental discussions. However, the absence of Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping underscored the complexities of current geopolitical tensions. Yet India, with its diplomatic prowess, managed to navigate these challenges and create a successful summit environment. Number 4, the New Delhi Leaders' Declaration. Diplomatic masterclass it was. One of the most remarkable outcomes was the adoption of the New Delhi Leaders' Declaration. With the Ukraine war creating a deep divide among G20 members, a consensus seemed almost impossible. Western leaders pushed for a strong condemnation of Russia, while others resisted. Yet India brokered a delicate compromise, drafting a declaration that avoided a direct reference to Russia but emphasized peace, stability, and humanitarian needs. It was a diplomatic masterclass that showcased India's ability to bridge differences. Number 5, the inclusion of the African Union. Perhaps the grandest achievement of India's G20 presidency was the inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member of the G20. This is the first time the G20 has expanded since its inception in 1999. For the Global South, this was a huge win, and it reflected India's commitment to giving a voice to underrepresented regions. With Africa's vast population and resources, this inclusion added immense weight to the G20, ensuring that the continent's concerns are heard on a global stage. Number 6, the IMEC launch, a geopolitical game changer. Another major highlight was the launch of the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, or the IMEC. With the participation of countries like the US, India, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Israel, and the European Union, IMEC is poised to be a transformative project linking India to Europe via the Middle East. This new trade route, launched by Modi and President Biden, not only strengthens India's economic ties but also acts as a counterweight to China's Belt and Road Initiative. IMEC is a bold initiative with immense geopolitical significance if it comes into play in the future. Number 7, the Global Biofuel Alliance. A significant milestone was the launch of the Global Biofuel Alliance, an initiative aimed at promoting the development of sustainable biofuels worldwide. With global attention on reducing carbon emissions and fostering clean energy, India's leadership in forming this alliance reinforces its commitment to sustainability. This initiative is set to revolutionize energy practices, particularly for developing nations. And number 8, showcasing India's stack. India took the global platform of G20 to showcase its digital public infrastructure tools called the India Stack. You see, in the last decade, India went through transformative changes in the realm of digitization. This includes the Aadhaar, a biometric identification system covering all Indians. The UPI, or the Unified Payments Interface, which is a homegrown technology to allow instant digital payment facilities enabling interbank peer-to-peer and person-to-person merchant transactions via simply a mobile app, was also involved. Today, Indians can walk into any shop, big or small, scan a QR code with their phone and make a payment in seconds and move on. At the G20 summit, this tech was demonstrated for over 1,000 foreign delegates who loved it. Another one of these innovations is the DigiLocker app, which carries all of a person's authentic and verified documents in a digital format. Many more such digital platforms have made life easy. They have also made governance easy, helping to drive inclusive development and financial inclusion. The India Stack shows how technology pioneered in India can be scaled for the global good. Number 9, giving voice to the Global South. Throughout the presidency, India reminded the world that the Global South exists and needs to be heard. India not only expressed its own perspective, but amplified the collective concerns of developing nations. Under Modi's leadership, G20 became a platform where the priorities of the Global South took center stage, marking a shift in the global balance of power. India pushed for development banking reforms in MDBs like the IMF and the World Bank to cater to the needs of the developing and underdeveloped world without putting too much pressure on them. India's G20 presidency was not just about discussions and diplomacy, it was about action, inclusion, and leadership. From bringing the African Union into the fold and spearheading the IMEC project, India proved that even in a world fraught with division and conflict, meaningful progress is possible. Prime Minister Modi's vision of making India the voice of the Global South came alive in this presidency, and the legacy it leaves behind will shape international relations for years to come.